Welcome to another video. I'm giving my reaction to the Rustic Village event in SimCity Build It, and this is really cool because we've been waiting what was that next Mayor's Pass gonna be, and we actually got a Rustic Village event, which was interesting because one of my commenters on my YouTube channel said that it was gonna be this before it happened. So this person, I think his or her name was Dang Ha, has inside information on future events. So I'm going to talk to that person and see if they know what else is coming in the future because they figured out that spoiler, and that was really good. I'm so glad we didn't get another farm pass. I think a lot of people were really tired of that farm pass. A lot of people were complaining. Now, the farm shop is still here, of course, in the game, but I think for a lot of us, we're just so glad that that whole farm theme that was going on with the Mayor's Pass is just over because for a lot of people, it just got pretty old. Now, if you get the premium Mayor's Pass, you're basically automatically going to get the Rustic Village Center. A 20% boost, 26 by 26 area. Of course, you could see it's not really that colorful, and this is something that is a common theme in these rustic buildings. But to be honest with you, I'm really not a big fan of the rustic buildings, just because aesthetically they don't really pop, essentially. They're very old-timey, old-fashioned. They would go good with old townhomes if you want to create kind of like an old village, but at the same time, for a lot of people, it's just not that fun to do that. It's not that creative. It's not that colorful. You look at a rustic village school, anyone can get this. This is in the free pass. That's actually not that bad, to be honest with you. It could be better than some schools. But again, as I said, these just don't have enough color. You get a bunch of currencies. Now, the Rustic Village Boat Harbor, and this you're going to have to be in the premium pass. I find this one actually very interesting because, first of all, it has a 35% boost, which is pretty good, 22 by 24 area. That's a really big boost, and it's also something on the water, so you'll be able to create kind of like a rustic river, maybe. This goes great with water environments, so I like how that looks. It kind of looks like a bit like Amsterdam, if you know, they actually had Amsterdam canals in past Mayor's Pass events. So it kind of looks just like that, so I wanted to note that similarity. Now, one of the problems is everyone is complaining about farms. I'm complaining about apple trees. The game is obsessed with apples. Apparently, the game ordered a shipment of apples, and they keep eating apples, and now they put apple trees in the game. Isn't that right? So it's just ridiculous why we see so many apple trees. To be honest, again, let's go back to this. Those apple trees are not good. We have to remember that. Look, 4% boost. These apple trees, they're not good. Yet this event, and actually the last Farm Pass event, was filled with these apple trees. So what is going on with that? I don't understand why they're pushing that so much. So the Rustic Village Market, now this you're going to have premium Mayor's Pass. I actually like this. I think it looks pretty good. 40% boost is outstanding, of course. But again, a lot of these buildings are just brown, gray. As I said, they're old-timey. They're not that good. And to be honest, what I would say about this event is it's not going to go down as a big legacy of SimCity Build It. Like, SimCity Build It is past Mayor's Pass season. For example, let's say the Mayor's Pass season where you got the Coliseum. Okay, the Coliseum is now a really famous landmark in SimCity Build It. And that's just one example. There's other Mayor's Pass that are iconic Mayor's Pass seasons in this game. I feel like the Rustic Village event is just not that. I feel like this will fade into oblivion fairly quickly. By the time this ends, people will... I mean, it's not the worst event, but it's not necessarily eye-popping. It's not necessarily something I think worthy of remembering. And by the way, the Rustic Village restaurant looks a lot like the French restaurant that we had in the Paris event, so they're kind of copying some designs. Again, very bland, very basic things. I guess that's really the whole concept of rustic. Again, more apple trees, which, if you're like me, you've had enough of that. So the community needs to complain, and they have been complaining. I've never seen a more toxic community in all other gaming. SimCity Build It, a lot of people complain about every single thing. So the question is, are they going to change some things in the game? I've talked with the game, actual developers, in private chat on Twitter, and they have actually told me that they would consider my idea of having specialization trading, where we could trade each other's specializations. So maybe there are some new updates. Maybe there are some changes. And I see, I guess, a spirit of change. I see that SimCity Build It is wanting to have change. That's what they did with the farm season. I think it was their attempt to get players back to the game, even though it was actually unsuccessful. I know it was met with a bunch of hate. Twitter hated on it. Personally, I didn't mind it much, but it seems like the game is really trying to improve. So I would watch out, because I think we're going to get some interesting updates the next few months. Now, Rustic Village in 55% boost. That is insane. First off, look at the cars there. There's also little cars parked in the parking lot, which I think is a really cool addition. It just does look like a cabin. However, I want to point out that something like this would be perfect in the middle of a forest. Something like this would give you a camping feel and maybe give you that camping environment theme. So I think that is a beautiful. And again, that boost 55% is amazing. And now the apple trees, they can't get enough, so now they're going to give us an apple forest. A 12% boost, not really much, right? It's not enough. They are obsessed with apple trees, and this event clarifies that. So this is one of the problems why SimCity Build It can't move forward, why they can't make progress in developing a better game, is because they stick with a concept. They themselves, the developers, think that it's genius, and sure, sometimes it's okay, but they overdo it. Just like in the case of apple trees, nobody cares this much for apple trees. More apple forests. If you complete all these mayor's paths, really just sum up what you get a few brown buildings and a bunch of apple trees. That's what this event is, and that's the best way to describe it, really. Of course, a bunch of simoleons. Look at that, 80,000. They really put all the good rewards in the premium pass, which I get it, they're trying to make money. This is not something that is strange to do for a game, but at the same time, if you're trying to make money off your players, actually make what you are asking for worth it. I don't know if it's worth it to pay, $5. It could be worth it for all those rewards, but I'm just saying make the game better if you want to get money from your players, essentially. Rustic Village Bakery, I find this one very interesting, and this one really stands out more than others because this is actually pretty colorful, to be honest, and this is actually aesthetically pleasing, and except the other ones, which are bland. 65% boost, that is insane. You're going to have to advance a long way, and it's going to cost you $4.99 US dollars to get the premium mayor's pass as well. 65% boost, a 30 by 30 area. I mean, 65% boost, let's just stop right there. That is insanely good. I mean, that's a top tier specialization. There's not much specializations that get that high. Even high ranking specializations, you might get 35%, you might get 40% boost. Sometimes if you're lucky, 50%. But 65%, that makes it one of the best specializations population boost wise that we see in the game. And aesthetically, it's nice. It's a kind of little nice bakery. It would go good in a little rustic town, and I think that the Rustic Village Bakery is really one of the best specializations we've seen in this event. Now, tier 40, you can get the Rustic Village bus station, and of course anyone can get this if you can reach that far. 50% boost, that is actually really good, so I appreciate that they're upping the boost. I said that they needed to do this a long time ago, and SimCity Build It has actually seemed to follow my advice. They've actually, if you have noticed, recent specializations, at least in the past few months, have had bigger specializations than what we've seen maybe last year or something. So I like this. The bus station, to be honest, it's a pretty cool addition to your city. It could be used as transportation. It could be kind of used as a transportation for your forest. Again, these go good with forest, kind of like a camping theme. And then you see tier 42, and the last and the grand prize, if you don't have the premium pass, are going to be 1,400 SimCash, which, if you're collecting it every time, then you can get rich in SimCash. And for a lot of people that are rich in SimCash, it's a lot of it, SimCash is not easy to collect. You have to buy it with real money, or you have to be patient and just wait. So 1,400 SimCash, it's really good. And, they get 10,000 more simoleons if you're in the premium pass. So they really are giving us good rewards. Now, then they got the premium plus pass, which it's going to cost $8.99. To be sure, I'm not going to say that the original premium pass isn't worth it. $5, you get some good stuff, and that's okay. But just to gouge our money for $8, I think it's $8 or $9, just for a few extra currencies. You don't get any extra specializations in the premium plus pass. You just get some currencies. I'm just saying it's foolish to spend the money on that. I really think it is. And I really think we need a boycott spending the money in some cases. Because unless we like the game, okay, and then we're going to spend the money and we're going to spend on the premium pass. But if we want change, then let's stop paying them for their mistakes, essentially. Now, I'm not going to be, criticize SimCity Build It too harshly. They've done a tremendous job recently. Better, I know everyone seems to be hating on them, but I want to give them some credit because they've improved some things. But there's still a lot of work to be done, and I understand that more than anybody else, and I understand my fans understand that, as everyone complains about this problem. So there is change coming, but that change is not going to come if we keep supporting events like this by buying their premium plus pass. That's $8 in their pocket. Thousands of people buy it. They're making thousands of dollars off selling this. So it's not always that good. And you get some extra currencies. Again, nothing really that special. Again, I want to thank you so much for watching. I know I've been a little inactive lately, but I'll try to be more active. Especially if my community is more active. I would appreciate it. So please comment. Please, engage with the channel. Follow my Twitter, which you can find a link in the description below. But I appreciate, again, you watching. I'm hoping to give more SimCity Build It content more often. New content coming out soon. Not just reactions to events, but maybe some updated tips and tricks videos, and going back to posting videos. So I appreciate your time, and I thank you for your support.